All right, so today I'm going to walk you through how to make a Notion dashboard. And so along the way, I'll have some Notion tips and tricks, but I won't go into detail about how to use Notion. There are other guides for that. This is just how I make my Notion. So I made a new account so that I don't interfere with my actual workspace, but yeah, I call it Workspace. One important thing to do is make your pages full width for your dashboards. I don't know why that's not automatic, honestly. And then you can add icons, you can add covers. Let's see. I like to use Unsplash because it's a great website. Search for coffee. And I will go for something like this. Alright, so here's how I do my workspace. The first thing I want is a heading that I'll have different headings. So I need something for daily, I need something for school, I need something for any personal pages that I have, and then finally something for kind of like long-term future planning. So daily things that I need include, let's see, I need my weekly agenda. No, sorry. Make a new page. That's going to be called weekly agenda. And here, I'm not going to show all of it, but basically I would just have the days of the week. One important thing that I do have in my weekly agenda is I use indify.co in order to sync my Google Calendar. So what that ends up looking like is I will have my Google Calendar in my weekly agenda so that I can use it. And so what you can do with this is if you just copy the link and you paste the link, if you press create embed, there's the Google Calendar and you can resize it as necessary. Right, so I'll have this, and I'll also have headings. So let's say I start my week on Monday. Drag that over here. Alright, so then I can, throughout the week, I can look at what I have on my calendar in order to determine how much time I have during the day. So on Monday, I might realize that, I don't know, imagine I have a ton of things to do on Monday. I might realize that I have less time for homework, and so I'll put less things in my to-do list for Monday. This is not the only way that I organize my tasks. I also use Todoist, but this kind of integrates my calendar and the things that I have to do. So the difference for me is that Todoist is the due date of the task. So if I have an assignment that's due a week from now, that due date will be placed in Todoist. But what I put in Notion is the day that I actually do the task, so the DO, due date. And so, for example, if my assignment is due on Friday, I probably want to get it done a few days early, and it probably will take me more than one day if it's a week-long assignment. So I might put my assignment under both Monday and Tuesday, whereas on my to-do list, it's just going to be the final due date. Yeah, so that's how my weekly agenda looks. Oops. And all right, so let me organize this a little bit. Okay. And here. All right. So besides my weekly agenda, I also want to make a habit tracker. And so with my habit tracker, I'll have an inline table. And so first, this will be my daily habit tracker. One annoying thing is that the name has to be there. So I just do something like January 1, and the date is also going to be January 1. And so different habits that one might track include, I don't know, how many hours of sleep you had. So that would be a number. You could track whether or not you worked out. So that can just be a checkbox. And let's see, number of steps taken. Sure. Okay, so the cool thing that you can do in Notion is we can have another page here, and this will be my weekly review. And so here I can say January 1 to 2, because January 1 was a Friday, so this is the Friday and the Saturday. And then January 3 to 9. Okay. So here we will use what week was this date. And so here, if you go down to advanced, the relation page, this allows you to relate to another table. So in this case, the weekly table. Now that I've created this relation, January 1 belongs to this week. January 2 is also in the same week. Okay. So now if we go, let me put in some information here. So let's say I got 8 hours of sleep, and the next day I was really bad and I got only 4 hours of sleep. I worked out this day and I took 4,500 steps and 2,000 steps. All right, so oh yeah, another thing that you can do is filter by only certain dates. So usually what I would do is within like 1 week from today, so that I'm not seeing my daily tracker for every single day. Yeah, so I can do that. I'm not gonna do 1 week now because that would actually I can. So is within the past week. So January 1st disappeared because that was over a week ago. All right, so now if we go back to weekly, we can see that these two, January 1st and January 2nd, is now related to this table. So let's say that I wanted to look at how many steps I've taken in total. So this is going to be a roll up because we don't want to have to add our steps manually, and instead we can just say for the dates that are related to this week, we're going to look at the steps taken and we are just going to get the sum. Okay. And likewise, we can have another category that's average hours of sleep. If we're looking for the average hours of sleep, it's very similar. Oops, sorry. Also a roll up, and here we want the hours of sleep and we want the average. And finally, if we were looking at percent of times work out. So if we're looking for this related to the checkbox, and we can count the percent checked or the percent unchecked. So in this case, we want percent checked. All right. So that means in this first week, only 2 days, this is the number of steps we took. This is the average amount of sleep that we got. And this is the percentage of times that we worked out. And so all of this information will be automatic. So should we have done more, like area 3 related to this week, if we go back to weekly, it's automatically populated. We don't have to do anything. So that way, if we're doing weekly reviews, all of the number tracking things has already been populated, and you can actually open this page and, you know, have a template for weekly reflections. So if you do a new template here, we can have, let's say, what did you accomplish this week? Right. If that's one of your reflection questions, then when you do a new template, you can choose that template so that it will automatically populate the page for you, and you'll have this right here, so you don't have to redo it if you have a review system that's going to be pretty long. Okay. And another thing that I like to do for my weekly reviews is add a cover that is representative of the week in some way. So this January 1st is going to be New Year, so maybe I want some fireworks. Yeah, these fireworks look pretty. And then what I can do is change this into a gallery view. Yeah, so when I have the gallery view, what I want to do is look at the properties, and the card preview, I want it to be the page cover. All right, so then by the end of the year, you'll have approximately 50 of these, where each cover photo is going to be something important or notable that happened that week, and I find that really like relaxing and fun, and yeah. So that's how I do my habit tracker. I also do monthly, so it's the same process. I'm not going to show it again, but I'll just do a monthly table related to the correct month, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's my habit tracker. And lastly here, I would just do a page for notes and drafts, but I just use the default one here. Where is it? Yeah, something like this. There is quite a lot of templates that we can use, so, you know, we don't have to make everything ourselves. For our school, this is where I have another sort of like interesting format. So what I do is I have what I call a UniHub, which is the hub for all of my school-related things. And this one's pretty important to me because oftentimes school has, you know, a lot of set deadlines that I have to meet, a lot of notes that I have to take, and most of that is organized around my classes. So I'll have, so my current classes, I'm going to make up some names. I'm going to say class English, class math, something like that. We can turn these into pages. So perfect. All right, let's say I'm taking these two classes, and I'll have a table here with my syllabus. And so these will be the assignments. So let's say English, essay, math, homework. And then I have another math homework and a math test. All right, so we can put the due date here. I'm just kind of choosing random things. And then I will also have what class this is for in a select, and so it'll just be English and math and math and math. Okay. The percent of my grade that this is, so this is the only assignment we have. Let's say that's 100%. Let's say this is 25, 25, and 50. And the grade that I received. All right. Okay, so then what I can do is when I go into my English class here, I'm going to get the syllabus in there. So what happens is create linked database. That's what you want. You want to link the database that's syllabus. All right. So again, full width. So now that I've linked the syllabus, what I don't want to see the stuff about my math class in my English class. So here I'll just use filter. I'll filter out everything where the class is English. All right, so now this is the only thing in the syllabus for this English class, and I can look at this. Similarly, I can have something for my class notes. I don't think that Notion is perfect for note-taking, but for classes, it's pretty good because we can have, I think the note-taking process that's difficult with Notion is when you're not sure how it's going to be structured. But the thing about classes is someone already did the structuring for you, right? Usually your notes are going to be lecture by lecture or like week by week in some way. And so this table format works really well with that. So similarly, we're going to do a select where we have the class. So this will be for my English class. This will be for my math class. All right. Yeah, so again, we can do the exact same thing where we link to a database, this time the class notes one, and filter so that the class is English. Also because we usually have classes, you know, we have multiple semesters and usually we only want to see the class notes for this semester. So what I do is I just have an archive checkbox, so that at the end of the year, let's say this is for old class, I'm done with the semester. I probably don't need to look at it, but I don't want to totally delete it. I'll just press archive and then I'll filter so that archive is unchecked. Simple as that. All right, so this is great for my UniHub. Yeah, so now I have my class notes, my syllabus, everything. Okay, in personal, what I wanted to look at is how I do my money tracker. So I think this is a pretty cool page for me as well. So the reason why I like to manually track my money is because I think manually tracking helps keep me accountable in a way that an automatic tracker doesn't, because while I can look at it and like feel bad later, putting it in every day is something that's really beneficial for me. And the other reason is because automatic trackers like Mint and other websites, typically you connect your bank account, but I actually still use cash a significant amount of time, and so I want to be able to keep track of that as well, especially since cash is usually going towards like smaller purchases that add up over time, like coffee and stuff like that. And so yeah, here I'll do a table again, and this is going to be kind of like my overall financial health, right? So here I'll have my bank account, my cash, my Venmo, and let's say stocks. And then this is going to be my starting amount. Oops. So let's say I had $100 on my bank account. I had $25 cash. I had $3 in my Venmo, and I had $20 in stocks. Sure. Now I'm gonna have out. That's my expenses. In. That's my income. And those are actually going to be roll-ups, but, and then finally the current. And so current is going to be a formula, and the formula specifically is going to be starting amount minus the out plus the in. All right, so just that. And so we can check that it works by saying, okay, let's say we had $5 out and $2, $3 in, 98. That makes sense. Okay. Oops. So, we don't want to have to manually add our numbers every time. Oh, you can also calculate the sum here, which is probably useful. So we'll actually have a toggle where this is going to be my expenses, and I'll have another table inside here so that I don't always have to see it with the toggle. And let's say I got coffee. And I probably want the date that I got coffee. Let's say that was today. I want to be able to say what I paid for it with my debit card, with my cash, Venmo. What did I pay for it with? And so type of payment, and that's going to be a select. And so I can say this was done with cash. Now we're going to do another relation. So here, what we're going to do is when we do, we can relate it to this overall financial health, right? And because this was done with cash, I'm going to add it to the page that says cash. All right. So, sorry. Now, yeah, I probably don't want to actually see this usually, so I can just hide this entire column and just make sure that when I press new over here, I add it correctly. And so currently it's not yet showing up, right? So we want out to be related. We want out to be a roll up where the relation is the expenses, and we want I forgot to make a column for amount. Right. So amount paid, a number, let's say this was a $5 coffee. So we want the amount paid, and we want to sum that, right? So this is all of the expenses that I've had so far. It's just a coffee. Yeah. Now we can copy and paste this entire thing. Sometimes Notion is a little slow. Here we go. And so here we want, and here we want our income. So let's say my mom gave me $20 in cash for dinner or something. All right. So similarly, we're going to need to relate this to our overall financial health. And this time, again, it's going to be cash, but this is going to be the income one. Oh, I should rename this. There we go. Cool. And then this, we also want to make it a roll up. I forgot to rename it before I did that. that. So there we go. Again, it's going to be the amount, and we're going to do the sum. I think it didn't, I'm sorry, it didn't work because I renamed things badly. Let me delete this. Delete this. Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to have the relation to the overall financial health, this time with this table name as income. And we're going to add that to cash. It's right there. And so we want this to be income, we want this to be the amount, and we want this to be the sum. All right. Here we go. All right, so this is how I do my money tracker. Oh, I can have another one for stocks where I just do like a weekly update for what it is. Yeah, and so this allows me to see how much money I have through all of my different sources of money, and also allows me to sort by date, sort by the type of payments. I'll actually have another category that says type of purchase, so you know, where so coffee would be like a drink, or I can have a category for food, things like that. And so this keeps track of my money. If I don't want to see the expenses or the income, I can just hit this toggle and hide them. Cool. Alright, so that's it for this video. I have some other Notion pages that I'm definitely really interested in sharing with you guys. So I will have that for a different video. Bye.